All right, guys, here we are. The WinWing stick has turned up. I put it in, replaced my VKB one with it for now. All right. I will talk more about the stick and everything, probably at the end. I think first of all, we'll do the mechanics of moving this stick. All right. So those of you who've watched my other videos are aware the objective was to move this bar up to here and see if we can let this mount vertically, all right, and see what sort of play it is. So what I have here is the WinWing Orion2 base, 100mm extension with their WinWing F18 stick top. It's slightly smaller than a Thrustmaster one. My buddy and I have been measuring that. Thanks, Darren. So it is a bit smaller, but not a significantly amount. I actually flew with the F18 stick top on the F3, though they removed a couple of switch positions. So it doesn't feel a lot different, to be brutally honest. Of course, that was 20 years ago. So anyway, right now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to unbolt the bottom bracket, loosen the bracket off. Obviously, I'll move the TV out of the way, which is a nice thing about the Next Level Racing stand being on wheels. I can get it out of the way completely and not smash up my expensive monitor. Anyway, I'll get back to you in a minute and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, so the Mips is upright. That's the bracket upright, and that does not work, as you can easily see. All right. So I am grabbing the Next Level Racing plates, and I'm going to have a look and see if I can find one that I might be able to connect in a different fashion. To be continued. So my cunning plan didn't work, and so I took the original plate and I mounted the 4080 on top of it and set it back. This allowed me to do two things. I can raise the outside screens and move the thing back just a little. So it doesn't end up vertical, but it ends up very close. So here you see the three screens on. Okay, so here is the finished product, all right? So it didn't work out as I really wanted it to. It has to be said. I couldn't lock the lower, so I've still got a wedge on the other side. All right. I ended up raising the Mips, yeah, as you can see, to make it kind of look correct from the seated position as I just showed you. All right. The base for the WinWing is enormous, which is what basically caused me the problems. When you look here, all right, that's the stop. So that's the good news. You can't smash it, even if you go full nose down. So that is pretty good. All right. Now, hopefully you've seen I've put some photos in, right? There are those. Now, what it did do, which was a problem before, as anyone who's got the Mips knows this, that you can't get the height right with the clamps. And now, actually, it looks pretty close to the real thing. Pretty close, because as you can see looking down the side here, all right, they're almost flat all the way from the bottom one all the way to the top. And this UFC is almost vertical. I got it as close as I could. So, yes, so it's finished. Not truly successful, but it did have this one advantage of actually making the Mips more correct position. So I am now going to go fly for a bit, and I'll give you my thoughts on this WinWing stick at the end of the next part of the video. All right, cheers, bye. All right, so my thoughts on the WinWing Orion2 base with the F18 stick top and things. So let's just start off with the fact that I have had the Thrustmaster Warthog base. I've got the WinWing base and stick top, and then I have VKB Gunfighter 3, both Mark 1s and Mark 3s. Alright, those who've watched my initial one on Virpil versus VKB, you know that I was pretty neutral on both of them. I like them both. The VKB won out for me because I was flying a lot of the time. And so I actually took it on the road with me. And the smaller base made it a lot easier to carry. So hence that one winning the initial battle. Alright. As for the Warthog, yeah, mine got so loose. Now I did have a 30 centimeter extension on it, but you could move it an inch and nothing would happen. You know, it was probably 4 years old at that stage. You know, I still have the Thrustmaster Warthog stick top because I have that on a VKB base as an F16 stick. So that works very well. All right. So, having said that I find Virpil and VKB very close, let's go on to the Winwing one. Well, number one, Winwing do not send you all of the cams and springs. You have to buy them as a separate part, and that's a little frustrating if they want to compete at this level. They should really just supply them. Come on, those parts must be like $10 to make. $10, put it in the base and send it with the base and stop being difficult. Their shipping is atrocious, so for every individual item that you buy, you have to pay individual shipping with FedEx to the US. So it's a pain in the neck and very expensive, you know. So I would say add all those parts and move them in. Now, actual operation, you know, I've got whatever, 5-6 hours. You know, for me it's long enough to know, right? The balance out of the box with the 10 centimeter extension is not bad. The base is enormous, as I mentioned, and if you compare it to the pictures of my other video, you can see that for yourself. Actually flying, it's quite smooth. You know, I don't have any problem with it. It's precise. So, you know, in that regard, I would say that it is pretty much getting up there with the base from VKB and from Winwing. Sorry, VKB and Virpil. It's just not as flexible out of the box because they don't supply all those parts. You know, now if you've got a Thrustmaster Warthog, then this is a good alternative. Just bear in mind you're going to have to buy the stick and everything else. Therefore, if you already have a Thrustmaster Warthog stick top and you want to use it, then I think Virpil probably still wins out. All right. Delivery wise, it came in 7 days, and I'm actually pretty pleased with it, and I'm going to leave it set up on the rig and keep using it. Any questions, just add them into the comments and I'll answer. Cheers.